This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health and a leader within the Longevity Nation family, I am super excited to be able to bring to you this resource. So let's go ahead and open up the doors and let people in from the waiting room. Folks, if you're watching one of our live streams and you'd like to join us live, you are more than welcome to do so by going to dailywithdoczoom.com. We are live most Monday through Fridays from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Again, that's 12 to 1 Pacific time, dailywithdoczoom.com. Now, as I mentioned, this is a resource. This resource is for an amazing community of individuals and coaches and people that are just health advocates, those that are in the medical field, also those that are in the alternative modalities. So we're for everybody, absolutely everybody, because folks, everybody needs
Recording
nutrition.
in progress.
Oh, thank you. And not just nutrition, but being intentional, because our food, it's null and void of all the nutrients that the body actually needs, not just to survive, because that's what a lot of people are just doing. They're just surviving, but we want to help people thrive. So as we're going from survive to thrive and the seasons changing, today we have with us Cara Ringland Naturopath and iridologist, and she is going to be giving us some amazing helpful hints to help us get ready and work through those seasonal changes. Especially, a lot of people are experiencing allergies. And as the seasons change, they get worse. Well, folks, did you know that there's things that you can do to support yourself so you don't have to deal with that anymore? Those are some of the things we're going to be talking about today on Daily with Doc and Becca. And for those of you that are joining us because you were invited, we want to make sure that you get back with the person or the email or the message, whatever it was that got you here, and say thank you. Thank you for sharing this information with me. And then at the end of the show, we want you to tell them what it is that you found most helpful about the show. Now, for those of you who are not invited directly by somebody and you've never tried the products or any of the recommendations that are recommended on this show, feel free to give our call team of certified holistic health coaches a call at 855-949-3377. But again, if somebody invited you, they are your point of contact. They are the person that you are to get back with. Okay? So now that we got all the housekeeping taken care of, it is my honor and privilege to bring to the screen with me Cara Ringland. Cara has just been a fantastic addition to our family here. And Cara, you have so much knowledge and experience that goes back decades, which you don't look old enough to have that much. But it's fantastic that you found that there was something missing from your practice that had to do with a solid nutritional foundation, and that you wanted to join us. And so thank you. I'm super excited to have you here. And today, well, first, okay, so Cara Ringland is a naturopath. She is it certified iridologist? Or what's the correct?
I've been a practicing iridologist for 24 years.
and have worked with IPA to get all of my certification training. And I'm actually in the process right now of approving for an instructing certifications. So that's what my big goal is this year.
Oh, right. That's fantastic. So that's just an iridology. Now let's talk about, the whole massage and Thai massage and
Oh,
all
yes.
of those things that you're also an instructor for.
Yes, I started training in 2005 with Spirit Wind School of Thai Massage here in Northern California, and was hand selected by my instructor to become an affiliate instructor. And now I have my national board certifications to teach Thai massage, traditional Thai massage, and we do a great deal of work with therapeutic grade herbal medicine. So we also integrate essential oils in there. And I have an extensive background with essential oil training. I did a 6,000-hour clinical internship under a naturopath, Dr. Carol Geck, who also worked for Dr. Gary Young at his Young Life Research Clinic back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So we integrated a great deal of research coming out of there with using essential oils for common and chronic conditions. And of course, nutrition. And as we discovered, and as we have iterated here a number of times, our soil is deficient. We're basically in the red in deficiencies, malnutrition, and it's through nutraceutical nutrition alongside of cleansing that you can clean the slate and talk about housekeeping, doing the housekeeping of the temple body or the body temple, and learning how to set the score so that we can be well from the inside out.
And I absolutely love that, because if we're not able to absorb the nutrients we have going in, then things are just going through the system and not being efficient as they could be.
Absolutely.
So I love the fact that you bring that whole importance to cleansing to the table and to the Daily with Doc family. It's absolutely fantastic. And let's today talk about nature's arsenal, immunity with nutrition and essential oils. So as we're talking about the nutrition and the essential oils, let's go into what it takes for, as seasons change, what we can do to support our bodies.
Absolutely. This one's dear to my heart. Having been a mother now my oldest is turning 23 in a couple of weeks. So I really embrace this time of year. It's the back to school time of year. This is when mothers, caregivers, we're all getting back into new schedules. Well, this is also when the seasons shift. So here in Northern California, we're dealing with cool weather again in the morning and the evening. However, it's still very hot during the day. So I find that this is when our immune system starts to get challenged, because we are dealing with climate conditions. So our body is naturally trying to adjust, and it's getting some mixed signals. Also, the environment starts to change. For instance, here in Northern California, the cedar pollen picks up whenever the temperatures drop below 62 degrees. So this is when we see heightened allergies. And so oftentimes people, because if you look at the concept of the immune system, it often mimics colds and flus when there's an allergen present. So as you all know, there might be sneezing, itching of the eyes, increased mucus production, okay? Even for myself, I have been noticing the signs of the seasonal changes because of how my body is feeling. Even in the morning, it's cold. I'm noticing my joints are feeling a little bit more inflamed, that there's a part of my, you'll notice different responses in the body. And of course, adding different routines. So a lot of our kids, for instance, are going back to school. Moms, dads, we're all on the cruise, the road, grandmothers, for those of you who are raising your grandchildren at home. A lot of the time, self-care gets kind of put to the side in order to maintain schedules, okay? So what we really want to promote is what we can do, the little things we can do to enhance our wellness, to set up our arsenal, literally, so we have our immune system like the first defenders out there, strong and ready for change, okay? So we don't get hit hard with the flu season that's coming. So what I find first and foremost, and as you'll learn, if you look at my book, Awaken and Become a Tree of Life, Always Be Cleansing, I co-authored this book with Christine Maxwell. You can find it on Amazon, and you can also find it on my website, bodytemplehealth.com, with all the links. So what we've targeted here is the concept of daily housekeeping, all right? So, excuse me. One of the signs of necessity of needing to do more cleansing is working with mucus. So anytime people are seeing a little bit more of a little heavy cough, maybe some sinus congestion, even in their children, this is something that's easy to detect. It's the first signal that there may be an imbalance occurring in the body. Well, as we know, with Dr. Wallach's research, a great deal of this is malnutrition. So up your nutrition, get on that Tangy Tangerine, make sure you're taking it every day, and especially for your children. Get them sustained, fortified would be the word. Get their immune system strong, make sure they have their nutrition, and especially the essential 90 minerals and nutrients. This is vital for having your cells be like soldiers and can handle the housekeeping in the body. Now, the other thing that's incredibly important is alkalizing. Now, in the book, we talk a lot about this. There's many different methods for alkalizing. Of course, looking at your diet plan, because acid-forming foods will be what will increase your susceptibility to seasonal change, okay? So the first naturopath I ever met, Dr. Birdsall, he discussed the stacking situation because I had suffered from an immune reaction, which was chronic hives, which is an allergic response. So if you're having allergies, it's actually your immune system stating that it is in distress. So we want to support the immune system by giving ourselves, number one, the nutrition it needs, and alkalizing. Because if you're eating acid, okay, so if you have like your baseline here is where, like Dr. Birdsall explained, this is your threshold. If you blow over the threshold, you're going to start getting symptoms, okay? So if you have poor nutrition, seasonal issues, new environmental conditions, okay, and then maybe you're exposed to toxicity because maybe you decided to take some ibuprofen because you had an aching joint, now you're going to potentially blow over that threshold. And that's where the immune response starts to take over, okay? The thing about our culture today is because we're always eating predominantly acid-forming food, if you look at the pyramid from the 80s, 70s that they put together, our food pyramid, most of those foods are acid-forming by nature. So wheat in particular, dairy in large amounts, and especially pasteurized, homogenized, and mass-produced. Go for grass-fed if you can, raw if you can, and keep it at a 20% of your daily diet, not a huge part of your lifestyle, okay? Now, same with meats. It's not that you eliminate them, it's keeping them at a percentile so that your pH remains consistently alkaline, okay? And proper food combining. Making sure that when you eat animal products, and especially meat, you don't combine them with potatoes and starches, folks, because today's American diet, the meat and potatoes, is actually what's creating most of our American diseases. All right, it's indigestion from the get-go. So we also want to look at sugar. Okay, so the top 5 acid-forming foods are wheat, dairy, sugar, eggs, whites in particular have the immune response for people who may have allergies. So this can create more mucus, okay? So for people who may have sensitivities, this is good to recognize. Now, what I've discovered is you can do a lot to prepare your body with enzymes. And so Dr. Wallach has put together the ultimate enzymes, which I really love, especially for people suffering from indigestion, because this has everything, all the building blocks to prepare your stomach, which does not have teeth. I have to continually remind everybody, so that it can break down the food that we put into the stomach. So chewing the food is very important to prepare the food. Having the enzymes to break the food down in the stomach is essential for being able to absorb the nutrition from the food. All right. So you prepare it for the small intestine, and then you can uptake it into your bloodstream. All right. And that's how you get your nutrition. Well, you can't very well get good nutrition if your digestive system is polluted, perhaps through being constipated, having indigestion, all kinds of digestive disturbances. So what I find when the seasons change, this is a great time to do a little housekeeping. Let's cleanse the systems, okay? So every day we might be doing our dishes, sweeping the counters, maybe you vacuum the floors in your home. But seasonally, even if you vacuum every day, there needs to be steam cleaning, dusting of the fans, wiping of the windows, cleaning of the baseboards and the walls. Doesn't matter how many times you clean throughout the year, those accumulations will occur. And that's what's happening in the human body. Even if we're taking the trash out and using the restroom and eliminating properly every day, there's toxins and residues, metabolic residues from our food, acidic wastes that may not be eliminated, that need to be removed, like steam cleaning from the organs. So this is why I want to promote seasonal detoxification. Today is a great time to order your 30-day colon cleanse through Longevity. Get you started on a fresh slate, okay? Add your enzymes. And for the little ones especially, get those alkalizing apple cider vinegar gummies. You can give them 2 in the morning, 2 when they get home from school, and I'm telling you, this will be a great godsend for keeping them pH. So when we think about pH, if you've ever had a fish aquarium, for instance, you have to keep the pH proper, otherwise algae and all kinds of things will start to grow when it's in an acidic state. Well, that's what's happening inside of our body in all of our fluids if we're not staying alkaline. Then virus, bacteria, fungus, maybe even parasites will find it to be an optimal environment to grow, okay? Keeping it alkaline will always assist the body with the seasonal changes so that we can stay out of immune response. Now, let's get into what exactly is our immune system. So perhaps we can pull up the immune system chart that I found that I wanted to show people so we get an idea. It's very closely affiliated with our lymphatic system. And our last 2 episodes, I really dug into the lymphatic system and how to assist the body from the outside in with self-care, especially with exfoliation, hydrotherapy, using those detox baths and scrubs and all of that. Well, we can also support the lymphatic system and the immune system, which is part of it, through nutrition, through essential oils. Okay, so this is where, of course, is one of my favorite parts. If you notice, the bronchus, the olfactory, and the lungs are largely connected to keeping and maintaining our immune system. So that's why we'll notice increased mucus. That's the body's first signal. Hey, we're getting out of balance, okay? This is when it's vital to remember to remove the acid-forming foods, add the alkalizing, do a little clean sweeping, making sure that all the digestive system is working, the elimination channels, maybe kick up your water supply, get that tangy tangerine working for you with the electrolytes so you're really staying hydrated. Because we all know our body's many cries for water. Most of our symptoms are caused from dehydration on some level. But the thing about hydration is it's not just about your intake of water, how many ounces, and the quality of water. You need electrolytes to be able to uptake that hydration into the cells. And that's why the tangy tangerine works so well, because it covers all those bases. And especially as a busy mom, caregiver, student, it's easy to just kind of put it in a glass, mix it up, and move on and get to your class, okay? So we want to be able to think about what's easy here because of the shifting schedules. And that's why essential oils, to me, are essential. Because you can put them in your purse, your wallet, you can carry them in your car. And as we've learned through scientific research, many of these essential oils are antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, okay? Now, when these seasons change is usually when the fungus kicks up, okay? Because like I said, the pollen might start moving around because the trees are going to start producing different kind of pollens. But as we all know, damp, cold conditions foster fungus, okay? So one of the best things to do is to use your diffuser, all right? You don't even have to get super fancy with knowing where to put the oils on your skin and having to dilute them and all of those things. You can actually use them in your diffusers. I highly encourage people to use them in their cars. Put on the recirculating air conditioner in your car, in your vehicle, to keep your bubble, so to speak, for you when you're driving about. You're going to protect yourself a bit from the exhaust and the environmental things that are outside of your car, but you can treat that air as well for your immune system. So you can use different things like cinnamon is actually an antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal agent. You can also use lavender or lemon. If you want to change and play with the smells, feel free to. Frankincense by far is one of the top oils for keeping all viral kind of things at bay. And so I remember having a question about that. How do you keep, if you're in contact with a lot of people, how do you protect yourself? Well, you can diffuse essential oils in your car. You can also put them on your scarf. So if you're going to be going in and out of different environments, put those essential oils on your scarf. If you are inclined to wear a mask, you can also put them on your mask. It provides an additional layer of protection from airborne issues, especially the viruses that might be floating around. Because obviously we're dealing with allergies that may be from seasonal changes, that as we know, if people have reduced immunity, they may be carrying around different viruses that we may then now be exposed to. So teachers, healthcare practitioners who may be in exposure more often to different adverse kind of viruses and colds, I suggest diffusing essential oils in your room at all times. Keep it going on your desk, okay? And change it up. Like sweet or sweet orange. You have an unruly classroom that's kind of anxious and annoying. Put some sweet orange in there, or some lavender. My father was the director of an Alzheimer's unit, and with all dementia in my childhood, and they would diffuse lavender, and they found that that was highly effective for reducing the anxiety of their patients, so that they could avoid different kinds of meltdowns, okay? So this is something that I suggest is a very easy, helpful way of influencing your environment in a way that people love it. It's not like you're trying to push nutrients on people or vitamins or even a diet change. They love a good smell. And if it's from good quality product company. Longevity does all of their testing to be sure that their essential oils are extracted properly, okay? That there's no solvents or chemicals, that the chemical constituency, the terpenes, sesquiterpenes are all intact, which when you look at pharmacology, okay, when you look at the medical medicines that are being produced, the back end is terpenes and sesquiterpenes and all this chemistry, okay? So essential oils are nature's laboratory produced pharmacy, basically. So 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is the same as 30 cups of peppermint tea from dried leaves in its medicinal value, okay? So the other things that we can do to support ourselves, especially with the essential oils, and especially for our children, okay, is to put, you can put a little bit of, I like to put 15 drops of cinnamon in, and you can also add frankincense with that if you like. And you can put that into 1 ounce of good carrier oil from Dr. Wallach. We want to be sure these oils are not rancid if you're using any kind of viscous oil. All right, and this, like his carrier oil, he also has a product line that has an introductory package of carrier oils if you just want to try a bunch of different ones, because castor oil can be good for one thing. We can get into that more at another time. But the goal is here is to put 15 drops of cinnamon. You can add 10 to 15 drops of frankincense and put that into 1 ounce of carrier oil. Try this on your wrist to be sure that there's no irritation. Now, if you find that it's a little bit hot for you, because cinnamon can be a warming oil, you can add more carrier oil. What I like to do is to massage this into the feet, okay? Especially for the children before they go to school. Put it into their feet, put their socks on, and they now have immune protection because all those nerve endings that are at the bottom of the feet uptake those cinnamon oils into the bloodstream, and it affects the digestive system. So this is, and the lungs, okay? So this is an incredible way of giving them a little bit of defense, a little bit support when they're out in the world, okay? Same for yourself. And if you're wanting to change, you can play with those essential oils. If you're not a big fan of cinnamon, that's okay. You can use something else. We can work with frankincense, keeping that as your base instead. And you can use other essential oils. Some people like thyme, there's ginger, there's all kinds of blends that could be made in your own home. Or if you like, you can also get the pre-made blends from Longevity that are targeting different needs. So if you find that you have stress, you can use one of his blends for stress more versus immune response. Now, the one thing about using the essential oils on the feet is especially at night, okay? So this is a great way of kind of supporting your immune system while you sleep, all right? It's, you know, in the Ayurvedic traditions in India, you don't go to bed without oiling your feet, okay? This is a great way of reducing any kind of fungal issues that may be going on, athlete's foot, fungal nail issues. You can use tea tree oil to specifically treat fungus. But this is also an excellent way of letting your body rest and being able to use those essential oils to support your cellular system. Now, we also know a lot about electromagnetics now, where you can test the hertz or the DC, the direct current of the human body, okay? We all run on a hertz, so that's Hertz, if you want to look that up. So hertz is a way of detecting your electrical body. Now they've discovered that anytime you dip below around 70 hertz is when colds symptoms start, essentially. So we want to work with the electrical body as well. And what do you know? Essential oils and all plants and all food has electrical frequencies as well. Now, one thing that we learned a lot about within the Young Life research was that you can use those essential oils to raise the electromagnetic frequency of the human body. So if you're in a deficient energetic structure, you can actually use essential oils to lift yourself up, okay? So the highest hertz is rose essential oil. It's at 320 hertz. All right. When we pray, we go into altered states of consciousness that can be measured in the frontal cortex. This has nothing to do with your spiritual beliefs. Okay. This has to do with going into a meditative state. And when you do that, you're actually conducting up to 420 hertz, right? Which is the heart electromagnetics. They have it at the Heart Math Institute. They're looking at electromagnetics. So imagine you use some rose, you inhale that. And as I've explained here in this beautiful arena, when you inhale essential oils, that's why the diffuser works so well. Let me explain the science again. Your olfactory system takes those essential oil, sesquiterpenes and terpenes, this chemical constituency, that's what you smell. It's actual chemistry that goes in through the blood-brain barrier and affects the amygdala gland, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland. These are the master glands that then help the rest of the body. And as you can see here on the immune chart, it will support the thymus, okay, the thyroid, the spleen, all right? And all of our reproductive organs are based in the endocrine system that's directly affected through the pituitary gland. So when you're working with hormone imbalances, this is also something to consider, bringing in those essential oils. And it's about restoring balance in general. So this is one of my favorite ways of supporting the system. And as you can see, the bone marrow is also a big part of our immune system. And so something I wanted to address there is making sure we understand how the bone marrow works. We need B vitamins in order to produce healthy red blood cells, okay? There's a sequence here. You need the B vitamins in order to produce the iron, to get the oxygen to the body. So if you're in any form of B vitamin or iron deficiency, oxygen is going to be reduced in the body. Okay, that means your immune system will be in a state of compromise because we know oxygen is what fights off virus, fungus, and bacteria. All right. So from our natural body, we need high doses of oxygen. Now, we can't even really uptake it through our breathing system if we don't have these building blocks. So that's another big thing I'd like to support people with is making sure, and that's why the Tangy Tangerine kind of covers all these bases because it has the B vitamins and it has it in the proper form. Okay. It is methylated folate and methylcobalamin, which are vital to the human body. All right. There is a lot of synthetic folic acid and riboflavin that's out there in the market today, and especially in our food. They enrich our food. I found it in almond milk. I found it in rice even. Okay. And of course, every wheat product is enriched with these synthetic vitamins. And what's happening is we have, and we'll just touch on it briefly, we have a massive issue with genetic anomalies occurring now, where there's the MTHFR gene mutation. And we have a 50 to 80% of the human population is now testing positive for one, 2 or even 3 of these gene mutations. This is causing, and the reason why they found this out was during COVID, because the mental health services were in such high demand. Now, what they discovered is people with this gene mutation do not methylate. So they cannot uptake certain vitamins, minerals, and nutrition properly. They also do not eliminate and detoxify as easy. So they're more susceptible to heavy metal accumulations, okay? And any kind of synthetic, preservative, dye, any of those unnatural resources get stuck in them because they don't eliminate as easy. And that's why seasonal cleansing is so important, to help your system to remove any residues. So what they discovered is if they could test their patients in the mental health facilities and find out if they had MTHFR, they could remove wheat and enriched vitamins from their diet, and most of their mental health disturbances were balanced right away. Okay, because it's the synthetic vitamins and the saturation, the inability to kick off the too much of it, that creates some of these mental health disturbances that we have been seeing. So that's how I got exposed to MTHFR, because I had some friends who had chronic bipolar and manic depression showing up during COVID, and we come to find out it was from the gluten and from the enriched vitamins that were added into all of their food. And mind you, they go to these vitamin stores to get their nutrition, and mind you, a lot of prenatal vitamins are full of these synthetic vitamins. And we're finding a lot of postpartum depression is actually directly connected to the vitamin that they're taking. So longevity, make sure you use a high quality vitamin source to use. Read your labels on everything. I cannot tell you enough. And especially in today's world, where now bioengineered foods are being added in. And same with the meat system. If you're going to be eating meat, make sure there's a bone, because it might just be printed in a laboratory. Okay. So we want to be very wise about our food sources right now, especially as everything changes and we're not being very well educated oftentimes by these large corporations who are making money off of us. Now, that was just a little bit of my passion, but most of all, I wanted to open this up also to any questions, if anyone has any. Lastly, I wanted to just quickly show the map, however, of the eyes, and kind of bring it back to seeing what the relationship is here with our eyes. Most of all, we want to say that, as you can see the map, it shows—
Hold on, before you get there,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Hold on. So, Ruth Ellen, there you go. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
So you're
Thank you.
talking about MTHFR and having the methylated vitamins. Longevity is staying on top of what's going on in our societies and all around us, that they created the 2.5 version of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine that has those vitamins in a form that those who aren't able to methylate can now take vitamins without them being toxic to them. So, folks, if you have been told that you have a methylation issue, make sure that you tell the person that you are working with or that referred you to this program, saying, hey, I need the 2.5 version, please, so that you're going to get the best results in an absorbable, high quality, multivitamin, multimineral complex that is, I mean, it's just life-changing, absolutely life-changing. I went because my bag got left in Denver and I was 6 hours away for 4 days without my Tangy. I was craving it, and I could tell my body just was really missing it. And I'm getting back, and now I have my energy back. So thank you so much for bringing that point out. I just wanted to kind of build on that. And there's, go ahead.
Well, I love
continue.
it. And that's why we love longevity, because they're not using just what they've learned 20 years ago. They're staying up to date with today's research and the conditions that we're dealing with in today's world. It's amazing to me, and I'm so grateful to have a trusted leader in supplementation.
And we've actually had the 2.5 version from the middle to late of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So before it really became a buzzword with the MTHFR, it we've been able to access something to help even those who are told they can't take vitamins. So, which breaks my heart, because if you're not getting it from your food, how else are you going to get it?
Yeah. And then you're in states of malnutrition. You're always in the red. How do you ever get ahead?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're all about keeping our listeners, our family, our friends ahead of the game and not lagging behind. So,
No.
Cara, go ahead and continue. I know you had the iridology chart up there. So,
Well, I
go
just
for it.
appreciate you, Becca, so much. I have to thank Becca and Coach Rod for bringing me here. And I'm just so thankful. And I want to remind everybody to go back to your point of contact, whoever got you to come to the show, whoever is your rep with longevity, to thank them and to remind them that they're, you can always adjust your supplement plan. You can always add new things, and you take things out if you feel that you need them. Now, that's why I love iridology. So to get down to tailoring your wellness plan, okay? Because not everybody's the same. Not every shoe fits every human being. So with iridology, which is the study of the iris of the eye, you look at the fabric, the color, the textures, and the patterns that are hidden within the color of the iris, okay? This is going to show what you have been predisposed to inherit, your genetic traits that have been handed down for generations, okay? This also can show you how you handle stress, how you digest, if your skin is more accustomed to getting inflamed. All of this is traces of memories of your forefathers, essentially, and how they may not have had resources to proper nutrition, especially in the last 200 years. May have had exposure to virus, parasites, bacteria, things like that due to sanitation or the lack of hygienics or not being educated, okay? Because I call it the funnel effect. So we get all of our genetics from up to 200 years in the past. Okay, that's 8 generations on both sides where we can get all of this information and its traces. So as they say with the concept of epigenetics, okay, we're given a house, all right? The genetics are the ammunition, and it's the lifestyle that pulls the trigger, okay? So we inherit the lifestyle that compounds our health conditions. So when we look at the eyes, what I use them to do is to tailor make a health plan that addresses your needs specifically. Because yes, there's a lot of standards that you can use, like alkalizing, proper food combining, 80-20 rules. All of that is applicable to most every human, as my book, Awaken and Become a Tree of Life, expresses. However, when we get down to the specifics, we want to be sure if you have a particular symptom or deficiency that you are getting your needs met. And so I am currently offering a 15-minute free consultation. And if you want to bring up my website, it's at the bodytemplehealth.com. You can go there and you can request an iridology analysis, and I will respond with giving you the instructions for how to take your eye photos at home. And so everybody knows, if you have a point of contact with longevity, or if you are a certified holistic health coach through the Institute, you can gladly send people to me. I will send them right back to you for all of their ordering. All right, I'm simply here to just give a little extra direction and want it to be in connection and complementary to any program they're on already. This is not about having too many cooks in the kitchen. This is about making sure that we have a recipe for success for each individual. And I want to say hello to Olga, who hit me up from England today, who is one of the certified holistic health coaches and has been watching the replays. And I just want to say thank you to this beautiful platform for being able to lift up this information for people around the world to be able to support them in their wellness. And so, like I say, I'm doing the 15-minute free consultation. You'll send your iPhotos in that you can use your own camera, your smartphone to take, and we can give you some direction. If you want a full eye analysis, I have several different tiered packages and you can inquire for more information. But it's been such a delight to bring more of these case studies up and to be able to see the wellness start to shift for people, because it can be something so simple, like changing your vitamins, like what like you're saying, Rebecca. And then like imagine somebody taking synthetic vitamins and actually getting good ones. They might actually feel such a significant change that it was never happening before in their life.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I'm one of them. I mean, I was taking lots and lots of vitamins, not realizing that there is a big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
shout out to Olga. Olga is one of my team, our team. So thank you, Olga, as she's absolutely a beautiful person. And we have so many people that just have a heart for helping others like you and I both do, that it's a good place to be.
It is.
And if any of our listeners have that heart to help people and they want to become involved or learn how to become involved, please reach out to us at info@dailywithdoc.com. That's info@dailywithdoc.com. Or like Cara mentioned, get back with the person that shared this program with you.
Mhm.
Okay. We have a big table and we are not in a saturated market. This market has room for you at the table. And we just encourage anyone that has skills that they would like to contribute to sharing this message to reach out and say, hey, how can I help? And in exchange for you wanting to help, you get a thank you check. I can't think of a better thing.
I love it.
It helps. It absolutely helps.
Well,
Well,
and something
Cara,
I really wanted to highlight is thank you to Dr. Wallach, because here in our US, we have such a chronic health condition because of the state of malnutrition. And my partner, he's from India, and they're just now starting to see a lot of the health conditions because American food has been infiltrating the world. Okay. So more third world countries that may have been held away from American, privilege have
right.
been kind of delayed, and now they're just starting to get all these cancers and all of these issues. And thanks to Dr. Wallach and to the American path, we have the leading naturopaths in the world coming out of the United States who've been
Yes.
combating these health conditions now for 40 years as a minimum in this country. So that's what I really want to lift up, is how the US is an authority on natural health, because we've been having to
Absolutely.
combat it.
Absolutely. And Dr. Wallach, thank you for bringing him up. He's a crusader.
Yeah.
I mean, he started this crusade. He has fought so hard to make sure that this information is made available, where a lot of other people are coming up with, oh, this just happened. Oh, no, Dr. Wallach's been talking about it for almost 50 years now. Actually, 50 years now. With some of the things that he has done through his work as a pathologist, the papers that he has published, not just from the animal world, but also the human world. folks, we're in a really good place to get information that truly does benefit you. And one of my favorite books, Dr. Cara, you mentioned, genetics, and I love the science of epigenetics. This was my book of hope after the Bible, of course. But when I was told that I have genetic conditions, there was nothing I could do. I just deal with it or suppress it or cover it up with pain management. I wasn't okay with that.
No.
And whenever I saw this book, Epigenetics, and I saw that the things that I was dealing with were not genetic, they were pushed off as genetic because the medical system couldn't fix it. Well, no, the medical system can't fix much unless it's an emergency situation and they have to reset bones, what have you. But when it comes to our body and what our body can do, when we give our bodies the right ingredients, the bodies themselves can do some amazing things. So I really encourage you to go to drjwallach.com, check out all of Dr. Wallach's publications. And if you choose just one, epigenetics. I mean, I've got a couple books that I've co-authored with Dr. Wallach, but this is still my favorite, epigenetics. So folks, it's amazing what we as individuals, when we have the information, can do with that information. And that's what this program is all about, is being a resource that provides information to help you as individuals, help yourselves, then help your families. And together, as we're helping our communities, we can really make a positive impact on the health of people we know and love around the world. Around the world. Because nutritional deficiencies are not specific to any country. Like you said, your partner being from India, and they are feeling it as well. And I love the fact that people want to come to the United States. I hate the fact, I should not use that word. I don't love the fact that they're being exposed to a diet that is killing people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I love going to different ethnic foods and finding some things that are truly as unprocessed and unmanufactured as possible.
Yes. Closest to nature. All of these, if it's in a package preserved for the shelf, you most likely isn't good for you. Let's get as close to the earth as possible. That grass-fed beef, let's get your veggies from the ground. Make sure you wash them. And that's all I can say.
Yeah, wash them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Cara, I love the fact that you are offering your services to the community as a whole, and you are dedicated, as I am, to make sure that the people that referred individuals have their referrals sent back to them, as you're giving them professional insights as to what their body needs. Those needs are going to be provided by the person that shared this program with you. So make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you, because that is something, as being a resource, is so important. Is we're about integrity and maintaining the integrity of this family. And I love our family. Absolutely love our family. Appreciate them. That's right. Just want to hug and hold them and just squeeze them. That's right. So folks, if there is no one to thank and you would like to get more information about what is being shared on this program, whether it's information for yourself, whether it's information about the business, give us a call at 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377. Cara, before I bring up the team, do you have any closing statements you'd like to share?
Predominantly, I just want to say thank you for continuing to keep this candle burning, because our world right now, with everything going on, and especially, we've got all kinds of news. There's lots of stuff that the human mind could get consumed with. And right now,
Absolutely.
I want to encourage people that self-care is the active state of self-love. When we take care of ourselves, it's like when we get on the plane, they say to put your oxygen mask on first before you help the neighbor. Okay, so when we can help ourselves come into wellness, then we become a light into our homes, our communities, and this is how we can best affect the planet with pollution and war, is to find peace within.
Absolutely. And you brought up plane, and I have to do a little shout out because somebody that I met on the plane yesterday asked me, "What do you like to do for fun?" I'm thinking, I'm a workaholic. Is there such have fun working? And he mentioned, the whole self-care and how that's so important too. So just want to do a shout out to Vaughn. Thank you, Vaughn, for the reminder. Because my team reminds me as well. And now from, around the world, it is just fantastic that more and more people are realizing the importance of self-care. So if I could get our team to come on the screen with me. We couldn't do this without them, as they're helping to really make this program a complete program and reaching out to so many different platforms. I usually kind of end with the person that's helped us get on all these different platforms, but I'm going to start with him, and that is AJ. Very humble. He doesn't like the attraction, the attention or anything, but we couldn't do this without him as far as getting on all these different platforms. Well, I could, but it would take me a few years. So he's really focused and hammered on that. And thank you, AJ. And we have Marilyn, who just is an amazing typist, which is one of the biggest benefits of being here in this live Zoom with us, because she is doing dictation and putting that into the chat, which is not available anywhere else. For HIPAA reasons, we want to make sure that we keep everything compliant, especially as we have people who are putting in information into the chat. So as people have questions, those questions can be asked. And one thing, before I forget, I believe it was Tom. Tom had mentioned when you were talking about, no, it was Bill. Sorry, Bill. That smell, sense, especially for memories, how they turn on those bells and kind of wake us up to, oh, I remember that, especially when it's referred to with sense. So that was something that was very, I wanted to make sure that I mentioned. And thank you, Teresa. Thank you for mentioning, thank you to all of us and for the great program. Next person on the screen is Rod. Rod is out and helping to keep an eye on everything here in the Zoom room, but also out on the different platforms. And as questions occur, he helps to bring those in. So thank you, Rod. We have Albert also down in South Africa, who's helping to let people in. Thank you, Albert. And it's very important, because if people couldn't get in, they wouldn't be able to hear the message. They wouldn't be able to see the chat. So thanks, Albert. And we have Sherry, who is part of our tech crew, as AJ's part of the tech crew as well, and helping to get it set up so that we can stream to all the different platforms. And last but not least is my executive production manager, Ruth Ellen, who's helping to keep us all organized. So thank you, Ruth Ellen, as she's helping push all of the stream out, as it's being put into a program, put in the graphics added and then pushed out, so that those who are watching on our replays see all of the work that goes into our program Daily with Doc and Becca. So Cara, thank you again for being part of our marvelous, amazing Mondays. I gotta get that right. And for all of our team and all of our viewers and listeners, everybody that plugged in, you just invested an hour into yourself. What are you going to do with that investment? I encourage you to act on it and share it with somebody that you know as well. My name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on Daily with Doc and Becca. Have a fabulous wonderful life and allow us to be part of it, or the person that shared this program with you. Again, if there's no one to thank, give us a call at 855-949-3377. This program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com. You can find replays to our previous shows and also articles and the Good Foods, Bad Foods list on our website, in addition to a store that is for those who either know their preferred customer ID and login, or those who have never purchased anything from the longevity company before. So go to dailywithdoc.com and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.